Hi, hello, shalom. My name is Haley Beckel and it's literally 3 p.m. right now. So this is kind of a gross story and I didn't think it would go well with food because we're talking about cannibalism and it's kind of an urban legend. Like, I can't really confirm that any of this is true. It may just be made up stories by townspeople. So we're doing this like it's a bedtime story. So grab a stuffed animal, your significant other, a dog, a cat, whatever, and let's get started. So our story begins with Alexander Sawney Bean, and he was born sometime in the 1500s to the 16th century in Scotland in East Lothian, I believe. So Sawney is not the most traditional kind of guy, and he ends up running away with a woman. And this woman's name is Black Agnes Douglas. And she's a little weird like him because she was accused of being a witch and summoning demons and sacrificing children, all this kind of thing. So a weird pair. So the couple, they go off, they run away from home and they find a cave somewhere on the coast, okay? So they live in this cave for 25 years and they have lots and lots of babies. So they have a total of 8 sons and 6 daughters. 14 kids. They have a lot of mouths to feed. What are they gonna do? Sawney, Mr. Sawney Bean, gets this wonderful and just amazing idea. He says, let's just rob people, okay? And then let's dismember their bodies and eat them so there's no evidence. And that's what they do. So the Bean clan routinely goes out at night, ambushes people, and dismembers them and has them for dinner. So the Beans are thriving, and this causes them to reproduce like rabbits. So we have a lot of incest going on. And their kids are canoodling and end up with a total of 18 grandsons and 14 granddaughters. That's a lot of babies. So this clan of 48 people are continuing to do their thing, and the townspeople are starting to get suspicious. There are people disappearing left and right, and they're like, what's going on? Some rumors are going around. There is a rumor that the innkeepers, those who are running inns, are the ones that are taking townspeople and dismembering them, murdering them, eating them. They don't know what's going on. Another rumor is that it's more supernatural and that these goblin-like creatures are going and taking the people from their villages, which is not too far off if you think about it. And the townspeople wanted justice. So a lot of innocent people were lynched. And then things take a turn for the worst when the Beans decide to ambush a married couple who are returning from a fair. So they just left a fair, they're on their horses, it's nighttime, and the Beans are like, let's roll. So the Bean women attack the woman, the female, and they rip her off her horse, they strip her and disembowel her, and they start to eat her flesh, okay? And the husband is there and he's like, oh my God, what's going on? I mean, he's horrified. And then the Bean men start attacking him, but they don't know that the husband is like a trained swordsman or whatever. So he's like fending them off, he's fighting them off, and he manages to get away. And within all of this commotion, so remember, there's a fair going on. 20 to 30 fair goers come to this crime scene, and they see the Bean family feeding off of this woman, and they're like, oh my God. So the Beans retreat, they run away. They're like, they found us, we've been discovered. So they retreat back to their cave. And they're laying low. Meanwhile, the fairgoers and this recently widowed man go to the authorities. So they go to the chief magistrate of Glasgow and they tell him what happened. And he says, whoa, this is huge. Like, this is a lot of missing people. Like 1,000 missing people. So we're gonna take this to Parliament. So he goes to Parliament and it gets to King James I. And King James I is like, I'm going out for revenge. I want these people killed. He gathers an army of 400 men, bloodhounds, and then we've got some angry villagers with pitchforks. Actually, I don't know if they have pitchforks. It's the 1500s, so maybe not. So King James and his army are after the beans. And it takes them multiple days to find the cave that they live in. And King James and his army finally arrive, and what they see is just awful. So they see limbs strung throughout the cave like beef jerky, jars of pickled flesh, and also more limbs and fingers, clothing from the victims hung up like decorations, a pile of jewelry, gold, all the belongings of the victims just in this cave. And then they go looking for the beans because the beans aren't there, okay? They're somewhere else. Well, they're hiding in the woods. So it doesn't take long for King James and his army to find them. And there are two versions of how this story ends. The first version says King James, his army, finds the beans. The Bean Clan is like, oh shoot, you found us. We give up. You can take us, you can kill us, whatever. And then they get taken to prison. The men, well, everybody is ordered to be executed, and the men's genitals are cut off and thrown into a fire. Their limbs are all chopped off, so their arms, their legs, and they are left to bleed out. And the women are put on stakes and lit on fire, so they all burn to death. Women and children, by the way. That is the first version. That is the version that most people say is what happened, but then there's also a second version, which is a lot more boring. In the second version, the beans come back to their cave, and there's gunpowder in their cave at the entrance, and it makes them all suffocate, and they all die in the cave. So that is the story of Sawney Bean, the man who allegedly killed over 1,000 people, had a ton of children, an incestuous clan that went on for 25 years. Is it true? Is it not true? I guess we'll never know. And that is it for now. If you enjoyed this, please let me know. If you did not enjoy this, please let me know. If you want to see more story time videos like this, please let me know. Bye-bye.